Hi, I'm Lisa and welcome to my creative art studio. Today I wanted to share the basics for getting started in making your own cards. I've had lots of people ask me, what materials do I need? How do I do it? And I'm hoping that this video will give you the information that will help you become a card maker and will also give you the confidence that it really is fairly easy to do. So I've put together on this sheet, if you want to take a screenshot, the basic starter kit items that you'll need, some optional add-ons as you start to do a little bit more card making and you want to add some variety to your cards. And then I also have some information on Stampin' Up's all-inclusive kit. It's called Paper Pumpkin, and you can go to paperpumpkin.com and read more about the kit and also see some of the past kits. And I hope to do a video on a Paper Pumpkin kit too at some point that would give you some more information on that. It's a great idea because it includes everything you need to make a project except your basic adhesive and a pair of scissors, but it includes a small photopolymer stamp set, an ink spot, which is the little cube, I think maybe 1.5 inch cube, glue dots or whatever special adhesives you might need for that project, and then all the materials for your project. Lots of times these kits make maybe 8 cards with envelopes or something like that. Sometimes there's projects like little boxes or things like that. But again, you can go to paperpumpkin.com to find out more about that. And I like this kit because you can you have no commitment. You can cancel or skip at any time. So that's also a really nice way to get started. And if you do start with Paper Pumpkin, you also get a clear block from Stampin' Up! In your first kit. So that's a good way to start making your own handmade items. So what I want to do is show you some of those materials I just talked about in the starter kit and how I use them to make a, I think a beautiful but very simple card similar to this. So let's get started. What I've got here are all the materials, and I pre-cut them ahead of time just to make this video short, but I also have the dimensions here if you want to take a screenshot of these as well. So my card is what we call an A2 card. It's a pretty standard and typical card that card makers make because it's an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock, which is the standard size cardstock, cut in half and folded in half. Really simple. So each sheet of cardstock you're going to be able to make 2 cards out of it. Then and that's what this is right here, this white. And I used the thick cardstock that I talked about as part of the basic stamping kit because I really like the weight of that for an actual card. Then I have a piece of paper from the Designer Series paper kit. I talked about that as the starter kit as well. And the one I'm using is from the January to June mini catalog from Stampin' Up. And in that kit, that Designer Series paper pack, we have 12 sheets of double-sided cardstock. And I love that because an actual whole package of Designer Series paper, the papers all coordinate with each other. So it's wonderful for getting started. You can buy 1 pack of Designer Series paper and make quite a few cards, and they'll all work really well together. So just as a quick flip through, this is the one paper that I cut my flowers from. So these flowers came right from this paper, and then I just colored them. So that's a great way, again, to get started without having to invest in an acrylic block like this for your stamps and a stamp set. So you can get started with just buying this Designer Series paper. So this is the front and then the back, and these all coordinate with each other. It's wonderful. You can also cut these. These make beautiful pieces to cut out and color as well. And here's the back of that one. I love me some stripes. And then this paper, that design on the back. And this one, you could even cut these out. These are going to be a little fussier with these smaller pieces, a little bit fussier to cut this one out, but you could still do that with some dots on the back. And then love the little daisies with that diagonal stripe. So again, 12 sheets of this cardstock come in this pack, and that's all you need to get started and to make this card that I'm doing today. So this is one of the designer series papers that I cut, and I need to cut that, but I'm going to show you that with the paper trimmer. So this one needs to be, the designer series mat is 4 by 5 1/4. So I take my card size, cut a 1/4 inch smaller for each of the dimensions, so it's now 4 by 5 1/4. So here's the Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer. I like this paper trimmer because it's quite portable. It's light. It's not too thick. It's a pretty small size, but it also has the this arm that extends, and so it goes all the way out to 17 inches. So I like that, and then it just pops back into the base like so. And then the other thing that's nice about this trimmer is it has both a cutting blade and a scoring blade. Not all paper trimmers have that, and so some people end up buying a score board as well. But I like this because you have both, and the blades slip, if I can get this into the screen, slip right into the bottom or right all the way up to the top, and they're completely out of the way. And you can have both of them at one end, and they're out of the way for when depending on what blade you need for what you're doing. So that's a really nice feature. You don't have to worry about getting them in the right direction. They will be out of your way. So this mat, the front of the card needs to be 4 by 5 1/4. So I've already cut it 4 inches. So now I'm going to go ahead. I'll put this down here so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to go over here to 5 1/4 inches. So there's 5 and there's 1/4. And then just cut that off. So that will be for the front of my card. And while I've got the paper trimmer out here, I'm going to show you how the scoring blade works. So I'll just put that out of the way. And then here's my card that is, right now it is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and I'm going to score it in half at 4 1/4. So again, I just let me put this down so you can see what I'm doing. Find my 4 inches, and then there's 4 1/4, and then I'm going to bring my scoring blade up here and just score that. Okay, now I'm done with this trimmer, so I'll put that out of the way. I really feel that a paper trimmer is really important because it's really hard to do a lot of cutting with just scissors and a ruler. So, so if you can see that score that it did right here on my card. So now I'm going to fold that in half. Just make sure your corners line up because sometimes the scoring boards aren't perfect. And then I'm going to use a bone folder and just get a nice crease on this. It's a nice tool to have. It's not required. I don't even include it in the basic kit, but once you start making a lot of cards, that might be something you want. You really could use even, you know, when I normally just use my thumbnail, or you could use like an old credit card or something like that. And then we're going to go ahead and start putting this card together. So one of the adhesives I suggest for getting started is this multi liquid glue from Tombow. I like it because it's only $4. It lasts a long time. It's easy to use. It's a strong adhesive. And I like that it gives you a little bit of wiggle time. So if you need to move it around, because maybe you don't line it up perfectly right away, you've got that time with the liquid glue. Versus a dry adhesive, which one of the dry adhesives I use is the Stamp and Seal. It's a double-sided tape. That you know, you want to get it right the first time because it's hard to pull those things up once you get them down. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead, and so I cut two other mats for the front of this card just to add some interest. And the white is 2.5 by 3, and then I make the black 1/4 inch bigger, 2 3/4 by 3 1/4. So again, there's those dimensions if you're interested in making a card like this. So again, put some adhesive on the back of that and put that down on here. And I'm just trying to line up, get a kind of a similar edge all the way around. And because I cut my dimensions like that, once I've got 2 or 3 of them right, it should be good all the way around. But again, you do have time, you do have a little bit of wiggle room with that adhesive. And then here's the flower that I cut out from that paper, and I used the Stampin' Blends markers. These are alcohol-based markers to color this, but you could use anything you have. So I haven't included tools like that in the basic kit because I feel like that can be, you know, a bigger expense. And if you're not ready to make that investment, use what you have at home. I'm sure you have crayons, colored pencils, felt tip markers, even paint to color these in. You could leave them black and white as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on. I am going to put them on with dimensionals, but I could have just used the glue. So if you don't have dimensionals yet, you can just put it down flat with the glue. So I pop some of those on. I don't fill the whole back, just put a few on. Take those backings off. And then I'm going to put this on my piece. Let's see, I think I want it like this. And then I'm going to just go ahead and glue this down. Right on the front of my card. There you have a really pretty, very simple card that you were able to make with just some cardstock and some pretty designer series paper. Now if you want, you can add a little extra if you've got maybe some ribbon or something at home. So I think what I'll do is I'll just do a simple knot. If in doubt, switch to a simple knot. I do like this as kind of a nice little, very simple way to add some interest onto your card. Cut your ends like so. And then what I'm going to do is put them down just like that with a glue dot. So let me, oh, I have them right here in front of me. I'm just going to use a little glue dot. You could also have used my liquid glue to do this. And I think I'm going to just tuck that right in here, just to kind of fill up this larger spot of what I call white space. So I'm just going to tuck that right in there like so, that little knot. Get it in the direction that I like the little ends to go, and push that down, and there you go. And there's your finished card. And really it was very easy to make, and based on the supplies, even including the price of your investment in a paper trimmer, I estimated from this designer series paper pack you could make close to 40 cards with envelopes, and it would run you a little under $2 a card. So I think that's a really great way to go and a good way to get started. So if you have any questions, let me know. Please share this video and then comment below, and I'll put your name in a drawing to win one of these 2 cards. So this was another one that I had done, but with the 3 flowers, well, I guess it's actually 4, but off the designer series paper. And then added a bow. So I took the ribbon all the way around the inside and made a bow over here at the side. So yes, comment below. Let me know if you like purple or yellow best, and I'll put your name in a drawing to win one of these cards, and I'll put it in the mail to you. So I hope that's really helpful. Again, let me know if you have any questions about materials or how to get started, and I hope you give it a shot. I think it's a really fun way to, be a little creative, get away from your work day or other requirements in your life, and then share with people. I think people really enjoy getting a handmade card in the mail. So thank you and have a great day.